Hello, welcome to our channel Contemporary Literary Review India. In today's interview, I am in conversation with the author Kushal Poddar, who has recently published a book titled Postmarked Quarantine. Kushal Poddar is a poet and short story writer, father of a daughter and a collective words. He has got 8 poetry anthologies published until now. His An Unfinished Novel is being serialized in the International Times. He also wrote news and option-based pieces for various magazines, including Outlook India. He has recently released his poetry anthology titled Postmarked Quarantine. Before I move ahead, please subscribe to our channel and press the like and bell icons. Kushal Poddar, are you?
I am Kushal Poddar, and as you know, I am a poet and short story writer and an aspiring novelist whose novel is not being completed for 1 year or so since 2020, 3 years now.
Okay. As you have been into writing, so how many books have you got published till date?
8 years, eight books, and throughout mm, the world, the 8 books were published. One was from India, and rest from America, Australia, one from England.
Okay. So what were they like? Poetry collection or story anthologies? What?
They were all poetry collections.
Okay, great. So means what subjects do you deal in, or you most often focus in your writing while you talk about poetry?
Interesting. Actually, here I will say something I always felt that a writer always writes only one thing throughout his life. And poems or short stories or novels, whatever he writes, is fragments of the same writing. And as such, I believe my writings are confessions. But I am not a confessionalist poet. My writings are confessions of my not of my desire or my sins, but of my interaction with the world. So as the world changes, my writings change. As the world suffers, my writing suffers. So in a way, they're political, they're personal, they're about my parents, they're about my wife, my daughter, and also about the violence, about the injustice at the same time. In a poem, in one single poem, in one single metaphor, everything is summarized.
Okay, nice. So you mentioned that you have published 8 books until now. So
And
can you mention a few of them, like which are very popular from critical point of view or sales point of view?
mm, from the sales point of view, there is the latest book that is doing quite well, Postmark Quarantine. As the name suggests, it was about that lockdown period, and my friend Rob Rob Decanter from Canada, he suggested that I should write a poetry journal of day-to-day experience during this lockdown period. And remember that at that point of time, my wife was pregnant and we were at a loss. we didn't know what will happen, the extension of this infection,
Mm.
what will happen to the baby, where this is the beginning of an apocalypse. The what happened during the plague period of Europe, or the influenza period, flu period of Mumbai or other places across the world, actually. So that mm, anxiety and everyday how we are interacting with each other in a lockdown house with my father. My mother already died, uh, and I was interacting with our doctors and everything. All these came inside, and actually history, because back at the time I was reading a lot um, about this flu situation, about this Europe and America, and how did those flu and infections and virus spread across the global community, and how they recovered. So all these elements were combined in this book. So that hype worked well. And before that, there was this selected poems, Eternity Restoration Project by Indian publisher Hawakal Publication. They're doing quite well. And before that, no, after that, between these two books came the Slaughterhouse book, and that was Harding My Thoughts to the Slaughterhouse. That was also quite well, doing quite well. So,
As I would like to once again highlight that what issues generally you pick up in your poetry, just prominent issues like you want to highlight in your poems.
as I already
Mhm.
mentioned, there will be social justice. That is a constant issue in every writing. And my point of view is, of course, liberal. And um, like Derrida would have said that we can't choose. I can't write about one thing and say this is the better part of the world, say ism, theory that
Mm.
is for the betterment of the world, the other theory is not. Capitalism is bad, the secularism is good, and everything. I can't choose between bad and good. We should dissect and deconstruct what the truth is, both the theories. So these writings are about those conflicts, about the assessment as I grow and grow old and experience more about the truths of the general life. I write, and of course, these writings are filtered through my own personal experience.
So if you say there is conflict, okay, between all thoughts, and as anyone may suffer, okay, for example, I may be secular in certain ways, or I may be liberal in certain ways, or I may be this, that, whatever, okay. So obviously everyone has some ways, right, some thought process. But if you
Hmm.
say as a writer that you actually position yourself in a way like you are in conflict of all these thought processes, so what would be the outcome, final outcome? Like, okay, so I believe this should be the best thing for humanity or whatever.
Again, I'll say that, see, if you search for meaning, it it is meaning in a life, or meaning of words, written words, then it is futile, because life is messy. and we can't find one certain truth, maybe a temporary truth for a certain period, a certain section of the general population, a certain person, even one person's certain period of life. We can't say this is the universal truth. It is very, very unlikely there is one universal truth. I can't say that, okay, there is certain things, of course, moral justice and everything. Um, uh, Killing a person is bad, no doubt about that.
Hmm.
Again, there are one will justify killing. Remember that rape case in Hyderabad. That was very quite interesting. That if cops take the justice on their hand, vigilante justice or something, uh, we should we praise that, yes, that those persons without trial, this face their consequences of their deed, face their punishment. Is that right? Or should there be a long, lengthy trial, and where there is a chance that the real criminals may get away with their crime? So there is no way we can condone killing. Okay, even the legal killing. That's I am pro abolishment of capital punishment, and so these are the moral justice sections. But again, that varies from time to time. At one point of time, yes, we there was legality and there was morality in killing, and perhaps morality. A caveman, of course, he had to kill. During the older civilizations, there were various process of killings. What I'm saying, that everything is gray shade. We can't pick up sides. We can't say this is the absolute truth. Yes, this is what I should do. I prefer I should do. And because think I should do, and because I practice doing such
Hmm.
things, I write about those things, that my protagonist, even in poetry, there is a protagonist. Even in poetry, the writer himself is the main protagonist. Okay, and he is performing certain act and expecting that readers may follow his acts or should not follow his mistakes, in case he is writing about his mistakes. So, so this is that.
Okay, okay, okay. So, do you aim to bring readers' attention to something, some teaching, some moral aspects, or some views in particular through your poems?
Like I said, the moral justice is prevalent on my writings, in my writings, and that moral justice is personal truths, that people should be kind to the other people. A person should be kind to other person. These kind of things are not universal. I will say, rather, preferable. I will say preferable. And if the reader learns something from my writing and prefers to follow that aspect of life, that yes, I should take care of the mm, weaker section of the society, that I should not judge any person, I shall not do certain acts, and I shall do certain acts. Very well, it is his choice. I'm not, I cannot, no one cannot, no one should not make his writings, his books, religious, dogmatic, sacred, holy book, because there is no such thing. If you make something, my writing, if you make my
Mm.
writing, if I make my writing
Mhm.
absolute, that this is the truth and you should follow that. You are a reader, you should know that this is wrong and this is right. Then I am also indulging a chance that in future my scripture should be followed and misused by certain section of the society.
Okay, okay.
Problem with teachings is that uh, well, like every law, if you set a section of rules, mm, someone is there who can abuse that
Hmm.
abuse that
True.
set of belief. Yes.
True, true. That's true.
So
Hmm. Yes, yes. Please go
so
ahead.
we should keep it hanging. Life is messy. You decide your mess, and my words. If that is helping you, it's okay.
Hmm. Okay, nice. So when you say you write poems primarily, okay, so do you write follow any rhyming scheme or any meter, or it is just blank verse or what?
Yes.
Three verse.
My all of my writings, even the prose poems, follow certain rhyme schemes, rather rhythm scheme, stress, and meters. And everyone, knowingly or unknowingly, follow those rules. If you are writing poems for certain period of time, you pick up certain sound. You pick up the background hum of the universe, as the scientists say. The background hum of the universe. You pick the rhythm, rhyme, the music of the universe. A how a sharp sound and a dull sound complement each other, and that's the rhythm. And you can't say I'm not picking it up. You be the Shakespeare or Rupik out, it doesn't matter. You pick it up. If you are writing at certain point of time, whether you are following certain lessons you have um, you have been taught by some academia, it doesn't matter. If you are layman writing poems like Kobe or someone,
Hmm.
you you always pick up the sound because it is in your nature. That's why you are writing.
Okay, okay, nice. So, just this is personal question. Like, as you are poet, so obviously I would like to know something more about this. So, do you have any group, uh, like in your place, of writers where you gather together and then you discuss about these things, or do you have some platforms, or do you participate in just a recitation, something like that?
Uh, this is I have been through these periods. I I used to write lonely in my um, uh, in my chamber, in my study, and first with my hand. I always write with my hand using a fountain pen, and the second time I type. And later, when some Facebook friends and certain other social media friends say, let's get together. Then, of course, I got together and I've been part of certain groups and opposed another group. And then I realized as the time, um, I realized that this, if anything, these do, they actually hamper your writing. they actually make you a performer, not a writer. There is a difference. I do not believe that being part of any literary movement or literary society, uh, you can be a better writer. So I write here and I
Okay.
submit to various magazines. Uh, Here is a conflict. As I said this line, I realized that the first line I was in this interview, I said that writing is a confession. So why should I submit to magazines? Why should I share to social media, post on Facebook? I do not post on Facebook unless it is published. But still, why should I? Mm, its answer is, according to me, that a confession should be um, should not be in an empty room, because your if you confess in an empty room, the very concept of confession is defeated, and that emptiness can create confusion, gossip, and chaos. When you share your life with many, through your writing, through your confessions made public, then only you are absolving your sin, and also you are you can be above the judgment of people. Yes, I do not care. I write this way. I write
Hmm.
about this. So this is the perfection a writer should crave, not performing before the public, not performing with a group of people, being a part of a group of people. He is lonely, he is alone, he is writing, he is sharing his writing to the press, and when it is published, he if he nowadays through the social media, we can receive the feedback.
Hmm.
Before that, total social media, we didn't have any chance. My
Hmm.
first book, when it came out, I didn't know what is. It is a sales figure. Yes, 10 books are sold, 50 books are sold. Nothing more than that. If I myself purchase 5 books, and then I do not read those 5 books, it is merely a sales figure, not a actual communication. So social media, importance of social media is that you can be lonely, you can write without caring about the judgment, if you get above that stage,
Hmm.
and yet you can receive the feedback.
Hmm.
When someone is harassing me, I take a look at the poem again, and I think, where did I make any mistake? And then I realized, no, it was okay, or it was not okay. Questioning yourself, remaining constantly confused, is the state of writing. It is a process.
True. Okay. So which writers do you like more? Like you may be reading lots many. So
Um, when I began writing in English, which is my second language, of course, and I grew up in a Bengali household and finished my education in Bengali medium, I began reading more and more English, using the libraries, availing those, because back then poetry books are not readily available, English poetry books, unless it is classic. And also they are very costly here. So libraries help. We began reading Ted Kooser, uh, Simic, and Ray Armand Trout, and um, Heaney, and and Franz Wright, and ultimately through the social media, I interacted with those poets who are alive, and Franz Wright actually influenced me a lot because he mentored me for a certain period of time. Uh, this kind of things. Okay, I personally read a lot mm, from Noir, from Stephen King to
Mhm.
Murakami to to Transformer. Or I mean to say that at one point of time, I'm reading now Ian Martel and Murakami and Caroline Forche, three writers at once. Uh, all three are prose. So this this conflicting nature of reading makes you independent. You gain your originality. You are not faking any voice because one voice is crisscrossing with another,
Mm.
and you are you are just digesting all the voices. So that's that.
Okay, okay. Okay. Now we are coming to the conclusion of this interview. So, do you have anything special to share with our audience?
Mm, I will say that please read a poet. Don't read his biography, and don't certainly do not judge the poet from his interview because interview is more direct, interview is more temporary, where writing is permanent. And once you have written something, it is always there forever.
Mm.
And
Right.
someone, yes, you should judge reading those things.
Okay. 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 That's nice. Okay. Thanks a lot for sharing your reviews with us. I hope
Thank
that
you.
you also might have enjoyed, and I believe my audience will also enjoy knowing your views and thoughts.
Thank you again for this wonderful interview.
Great.